What's up, Lions? For as little as $5 a month, you can help this show to grow while also getting access to our exclusive Pride content, which includes shows like Conspiracy Corner, Degenerate Gamblers, special interviews, Lions of Liberty roundtables, and much, much more. So check that out. Help us grow at lionsofliberty.com/support.
Welcome to Electric Libertyland, here on the Lions of Liberty podcast, your weekly shot of culture, comedy, and liberty with your host, Brian McWilliams.
Yeah, I realized I think I bought the wrong thing. I meant to buy something that I believe has an elephant on it.
Oh, Chang.
Is there some... No, it's not that.
No, that is the one with the elephant on it. Chang beer. It's green label. It looks like Carlsberg, but it's Chang.
Fuck.
That is good beer. That's my favorite Premier League football teams. That's their supporter. That's their sponsor. Chang beer.
Yeah, because this was like wrapped in like this plastic shit. And when I got it off, I'm like, wait, wasn't there supposed to be an elephant?
Oh, he's here.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm an idiot, and I forgot to change to the mic. And I'm talking. I can hear it. I've been listening to this entire fucking conversation. And I'm like, why can they not hear me? And I just had to switch recording to the mic. And
there you go. You know what? I saw your initials on there, and I was like, it looks like he's on the call.
On. Like, everything's connected. I'm fucking around with Skype, and I'm like, why can they not hear me? But I can hear them. And I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot. That's why.
Maybe you was like Get Out, and you were in the other, or whatever they called it. You're like
just
in the
flailing away in the darkness.
You're right. Yeah, exactly. You missed it. I was clinking my whiskey glass with the thing earlier, and it put you in the trance, and you're down there. All right. Well, welcome. Well, I'll officially start this. Like I said, no editing. I don't have time because this Libertarians in Living Rooms Drinking Liquor show, which I'll introduce you both formally in a minute, will air when I am in Japan. So all the topics are going to be not so much current events as they will be general topics. And let me introduce it formally. So first and foremost, welcome to the show, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that preamble, which I will not be cutting out because that's part of the fun of LALDL. So I'm here in the Brians of Liberty studios, of course. This is going to be Electric Libertyland's LALDL. I believe it'll be episode number 67. And there will be no show notes because we're just going to ramble on. Actually, there'll be maybe one show note. I'll link like one story. But I am here. I am drinking. I am hungover as always because last night, Mark and I, this is going to be a week in the past now, but Mark and I went to Dave Smith's comedy show up at the Comedy Store. And I got hammered. I was drinking martini after martini. I'm more martini than man. Got pimentos for nipples. So I'm hungover, but I've switched it up in light of my Japanese travels coming up. I am drinking Hibiki Suntory whiskey, which is delicious. And I will welcome in two gentlemen that I consider friends and compatriots. I'll start with Howie, since he was the first voice you heard before JB figured out his microphone. So Howie, hello, welcome, the Godfather of Liberty, Howie Snowdon, to this Electric Libertyland, LALDL.
That's right. And as everyone heard, I mistakenly bought Carlsberg. It's not that great. I thought it was a different beer that should have had an elephant on the can. I didn't inspect it close enough. But, I'll drink anything, so I'm ready to rock.
And, of course, our man on the ground in Philadelphia, the one and only JB Lubin. JB, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. A little tired, after work, I guess. I forgot how to use a computer and a microphone, but I think I'm on track right now.
Were you already drinking? What are you drinking now? That's the question I need to know.
I'm going to classic, Glenlivet 12.
Oh, nice. Very nicely done. You know what I was thinking about? It's kind of crazy. So when we all together, like JB really wanted to be on this show because as he said, he needs to raise his profile in advance of PorkFest when we go to PorkFest and do our live show with the Whiskey Challenge. And I think it's number one, very good idea. But I was thinking, honestly, we have not all gotten together in a group all together. This will be the first time probably since we graduated college.
Nope. The last time I believe was in 2008. Right when I got out of the army, we had like
well, we did, but JB wasn't there.
Oh, JB wasn't there?
Yeah, I'm trying to think like this group, like all of us together, me, you, Rico, Mark, Odie, and JB. we have not seen each other together in one grouping since graduating. So that's, I mean, a pretty amazing thing when you think about it, that Liberty has brought us all together, made us closer friends.
Wait, not
once
even
again.
Ackland's wedding?
Oh, you
Mark
know what?
was there.
Yeah, but Howie wasn't at
I wasn't
Howie
there.
wasn't there. Oh, wow.
It's
Guess it
rare
has
that
been
you
since
miss
college, huh?
an alcoholic, drug-fueled pony ride in the middle of the woods and not have Howie Snowdon there. But somehow it just worked out that you weren't there.
What year was that?
Oh, shit. I don't even remember. The only thing I can remember from that trip was that one of our friends had homemade narcotics. I won't say specifically which one, but homemade narcotics that he had gotten the plants for and made himself, like the great people of Colombia. And that the water pressure was so low in the showers that it was like being peed on by a small toddler, basically. And that's what our shower situation was like in the middle of the Pocono Woods where we had this wedding.
Well, all I know is homemade narcotics is the perfect start to any story.
God damn right it is, man. So let's why don't we jump in with 2 feet? Unless do you have any bold statements you want to make at the beginning of the show, anybody? Otherwise, I'll just hop right into some topics here and we'll get to chatting.
I know this wasn't on we weren't planning on talking about this.
We can talk about anything. I just wanted to have something we could talk about.
Because we're recording on Skype, how about that fucking bullshit where if you use profanity or what they consider abusive bullshit language, they can suspend your account?
Oh, it's insane.
Does that mean everything I just said, we're gonna the Lions of Liberty get shut down from using Skype? What the fuck?
I presume so, right? I mean, that's what it means. They can read all your emails. They can go through all your shit. If you're on Hotmail, you can read all your shit. If you're on Skype, they can go through and, I don't know, shadow ban you, whatever else. So, yeah, I would presume that the Skype will be, I don't know.
Hold on 1 second, because I have no idea what you're talking about, and I'm kind of shocked right now.
Oh, yeah.
Or, anyone else who's in the same position of ignorance as me, can you elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead. Howie,
into this call.
Sure. And the bottom line is they're listening, and if they think there's something offensive, they can ban your account. It's similar to, I don't know if you guys knew, Google goes through all your email and all your shit. Yep. And people that use Dropbox for storage, they were flagging some of people's files as offensive and locking them out of them. There was somebody in college doing a report on the Holocaust, and I guess whatever algorithm they used, that was offensive towards Jews or something, locked them out of all their files of the paper they were working on. And so there's all this, it's Skype, Microsoft. Well, Microsoft owns Skype. That's who's doing this, but Google owns Dropbox, and they're all just cracking down, censoring, penalizing people that they don't agree with or who they, I don't think they're not going to ban someone for cursing like I just was, but they'll use it as an excuse to penalize someone who's doing something they disagree with and who they don't want getting their message out there.
Well, it's crazy that this shit's happening so quickly because I number one, this is all because of the FOSTA bill that passed. And I have to look up exactly what that stands for. It's basically against sex trading, it's the FOSTA-SESTA anti-sex trafficking bill. And I'm going to figure out what the hell that actually stands for. But it's all in the context of protecting kids and basically having these organizations now be on the hook for people posting stuff on servers or on websites they own or on services they provide. This is what it's all in the context of. It's supposedly to stop sex trafficking because of sites like Craigslist or Reddit that would have forums where people would post advertisements for sex workers. And they say, well, so many of these sex workers are sex trafficked. So now if they find that somebody has been sex trafficked on your website, they can sue Microsoft for hundreds of millions of dollars saying that you now permitted them to be raped and you're helping the sex trafficking. This is where this is all coming from. But the problem with this whole bill is that it is so broad in saying that any of this content can be used against you, that all these companies are, like Howie said, taking it as just having carte blanche to crack down on everything and anybody that they don't like or they find offensive, which is just fucking insanity.
I didn't even realize what I was talking about was related to this. That's crazy though.
Oh,
but
totally.
Yeah, because I just thought about this as Craigslist has to take down their personals now because some people use it for prostitution. Never mind that none of us think the prostitution should be illegal, but even if you did, it's better than having it like in the back alleys. It's so much safer for these girls to do it that way. And then I guess they have threads where they can talk about abusive clients or things like that, or people to stay away from. And instead of being out in the street corner, just getting picked up by whoever, at least they have some form of protection. And it's not even like, I don't know, just because something can be used in a bad way. Like anything can, you can't just get rid of something. You can't just ban the use of something because someone might use it for sex trafficking children, or similar to guns. Like, oh, someone might do something bad with it. Yeah, but the vast majority of people use it for, protection or hunting, whatever. Like, we can't just ban things because it's possible that someone could use it for something that they just consider immoral.
Howie, I'm surprised you're so calm and even toned about this. To me, this is completely absurd. To me, it's equivalent as suing the makers of white vans because they're used to kidnap children.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
I didn't make this white van for you to kidnap children with. You just chose to take my product and do that with it. I'm not under that responsibility to police everyone who buys my white van.
Right, exactly. Exactly right. Ford is not they're not on the onus to have a Ford security company that goes around making sure their cars aren't being used to kidnap somebody.
It's the exact. Can someone explain to me how those two things aren't equivalent?
No, they are.
It's the exact same. And it's on top of it all, too, not only is there an intrusion into freedom of speech, which is what people were saying this bill would happen, and it has. It's happening right now. So it's freedom of speech. It's costing these women. And I want to get into a little bit more of talking about the reaction and the impact it's having on sex workers and the plight that these people have. But you look at all of these, the impact of this. You have to add on too now how many people, how many hours are wasted, how much more expensive is the business going to be because you now have to police all of this content. And I guess maybe these businesses are just looking at it and going, well, you know what? I'm not going to pay people. I'm not going to bring in 150 more staffers to go through and make sure that nobody's posting this individual shit. They probably just are now blanket looking for anything that is even remotely tangentially involved with sex or violence or Holocaust. And they probably just have keywords, and anything that is even remotely linked to it, they just kill.
Yeah, I mean, it would be much more reasonable if, say, someone notices that, oh, this is an ad for child sex trafficking, that they report it, and whoever's hosting it should have to take it down. Not oh, you're responsible for this because you had this platform. Now you're a child sex trafficker.
Well, they're saying that it's because these ads aren't saying they're children. It's just sex ads. And that's the thing. So they're well, now we can't have any sex ads because some of these people are children that are sex trafficked, which meanwhile, do we really live in an environment where we believe in our fucking naive minds that if you take this part out, that people that want to fuck children aren't going to find a way to fuck children, and that these people that are working within they're already illegally kidnapping women, forcing them to have sex in these brothels, they're not going to find another way to get the word out?
They just want the elites to be able to do it.
Before.
They want it to be only for the elites, I guess.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they want to make sure that the Epsteins get to keep their sex island going. They want to have the monopoly. They were thinning the herd too much. They couldn't get the primo girls like they used to on the sex island that all those people go to worship the owl god.
And speaking of combating sex trafficking and underage prostitution, isn't open advertisement of these practices and these people who are under this make it easier to find them as opposed to driving it underground?
You would think, because they're advertising. You could just let's get into that next part of this then, because I want to talk about just how ridiculous it is. Obviously, I think we all support prostitution being legalized. If it's your body, do what you want with your body. And, where are these feminists to stand up for these people and say, hey, women can make a very, very good living doing this. Why should we judge them? I love how we can't judge women. We can't slut shame. Meanwhile, all these people are hooker shaming. Why can't you let the person make a living? But not only on top of all that. So what if these people, how are they going to fight back is my question. Because when you have something that's illegal like this, it's not like the sex workers can form a union and march out and be like, we, the United Sex Workers, want to repeal this bill, because then it's like if illegal immigrants all got together and we're all illegal immigrants. We're going to march together right here in this place. And then ICE is going to come in and round them up into wagons. The same thing with these sex workers, because they're all committing crimes, technically. So how can they fight this?
I don't know how they can fight it, but I would love for Odie to have some sex workers on Felony Friday and see what their ideas are.
He needs
I
to.
don't know how they could fight it. Like,
All right, lay it
you just
out.
need a state like Nevada, just have legal sex workers, people in their state who are allowed to do this as a trade, and I'll call it a trade because that's what it is, sue the government and take it as far as they can through the federal courts, take it through the circuit, take it all the way to Supreme Court if they have to.
Yeah.
That's the only way to fight. You need a place where it's legal in a state for people just to sue the government over it.
Well, that is why haven't they done that yet? Why have they not had a class action lawsuit from all the sex workers? Because even if you're not in that state, you can sign on. Like a lot of lawsuits, you can just put down Jane Doe. It's like all these people that have been raped or whatever. When they go in court documents, their names aren't even listed. So you'd think you'd be able to do that too and join into this lawsuit. So yeah, why the fuck are these people not stepping up and doing this kind of shit?
I feel like all the politicians and judges and shit are afraid to say that they're like for prostitution and pro prostitutes because for our entire history, it's this like puritanical country, it's been, demonized and so frowned upon when whatever it's, two consenting adults doing what they want to do.
Well, even in California, I still am flabbergasted that they passed this idiotic law where they forced people in porn to use condoms, which cost the state so much revenue because it drove it all out of California or out of Los Angeles, at least. So I guess when you have the most liberal place in the world, like LA, forcing porn stars to wear condoms, I don't think they're going to budge on the whole prostitution issue either.
Don't they get STD tested anyways?
Oh yeah, like every 2 weeks. It's like, and that's not government mandated either. It's just like the standard within the industry, I think.
Yeah. I mean, the market can regulate itself. I mean, people want to have careers and not ruin their fucking lives. They, especially when these things are out in the open and they're not driven into like the basements and alleyways, it's much more safe and it's much more professional and it's all consenting adults and nobody gets hurt.
Yep, exactly, man. It's like, and now so there's going to be private websites that are going to pop up instead where people are going to join them. It's like just taking them off these public places does it. It's like if you want to find it, you're going to find it. Like I was saying with the child stuff, if you want to find a hooker, you're going to find a hooker. You're going to find a website that has private login escorts and keeps everything personal. Make an alias name, and you'll find your prostitute. Like it's a very simple solution, and this is just the perfect example of unintended consequences. How this is fucking over everybody now. But on the bright side, I guess at least people are looking at what people are mining from their data. At least,
yeah. I mean, it's crazy. It's not even just this stuff. Like Facebook and Twitter now are banning ads for cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, what the fuck is that about? Yeah, by the way, JB, are you on the crypto yet or no? I think you were last time.
I'm still in traditional investments right now.
Well, get in now. We've all now's the time to buy. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Well, when Mark told me it's not an investment, it's a gamble, I'm still not at a place where I'm willing to gamble money. I'm still trying to build up, my retirement. Dude,
they are certainly destroying the dollar and everything that's going to buy when we're retired.
Oh, totally.
That's a gamble.
Totally. Well, here's the question, JB. Are you still gambling with your future by I know you were talking about getting married in Turkey. Is that still in the cards or are you like maybe not now?
Well, we'll know. We'll see. We'll see. We could talk about that off show.
Yeah, that's like I'm looking at what's happening over there. I'm like, God damn. I don't know if that's the place you want to do that anymore.
Yeah, I don't think my work would even let me go there.
That's true.
You had mentioned that before.
But so in marriage news, we were planning our wedding and it's stressful and sucks. We decided we're just going to go to Ireland and elope and spend a week in a castle.
Hey, so. And they got that beer Carlsberg you love so much there.
Yeah, they better have something better. I mean, Ireland, come on, they got to have something better in Carlsberg.
To make a long story short, Howie, I think we might we're feeling those avenues down too.
Nice.
Well, no, that's not a phrase. I don't even know why I said that.
Feeling those. It sounds like JB took the prostitute conversation to heart, and he's looking forward to going out and feeling some avenues down a little bit after this.
It's all I can think about now.
That's like that. See, they should just. If we could get rid of all this, if we just legalize prostitution, you have like your red light district, which could be called Feel Down Avenue. That'd be perfect. I don't know why we don't. And
I'm on board.
Guys like I'm a handsome man in shape. Maybe I'll go out there and just hook a little on the side. Who's to say?
Why not? It could be better than Uber, I bet.
Right? You make so much more money than Uber, and you're probably safer because at least you're like looking. Like I would be paranoid driving Uber because you're not facing the person. I'm like, this person could beat me in the back of the head. They could stab me in the ear with a needle, like in So I Married an Axe Murderer. Anything could happen.
Yeah, people are always worried about Uber driver might kill you or do something. Like, what about the Uber driver? He's picking up all these people all the time. He's way more at risk of something happening than, somebody getting a ride.
Oh, totally. I think of like how many people you're seeing. You're seeing one Uber driver. The odds of the Uber driver getting you and killing you, and he's, I'm sure he's got a 5-star rating, so you can see in advance, is like nil. This guy's going through 20, 40 people a night. Always. That's why taxi drivers are so crazy. Always in fear of their lives. All right, so let's move on. Hold on. I want to go to a different topic that we touched on briefly because we're talking about the devaluation of the dollar. And somebody, so we had a couple of questions from our Pride members. Because like I said, I didn't want to take us too much on current event stuff. So here's a question from the Pride, from Jared. And he says, and wait, I'll plug it. You can join our Pride as little as $5, as you heard at the beginning of the show. And you can submit questions like this. Be involved in the show. The joy of being a part of this process, a cog in the machine that is Lions of Liberty. So from Jared, basically, I'll sum it up. How worried should we be about spending in the debt? JB, go. You go first.
You want my honest answer?
Yes.
No,
honestly,
tell us lies.
Honestly, this is more of a life philosophy than any hard macroeconomics theory here, but I don't believe in worrying about anything that's out of my control. I can't bring down the national debt. I can't stop them from piling onto the national debt. So worrying about it is bringing a lot of undue stress to my life that I have no control over whatsoever. So I'm just not going to. And if the world blows up into a, Mad Max scenario, then I'm going to have to deal with it when it comes. But right now, worrying about the national debt isn't going to stop that from happening.
You do have control, though, over, if all your investments are in dollar-denominated funds, or if you have some gold or silver or cryptocurrencies or something else, or if you have valuable skills and a valid passport where you could go anywhere in the world if this whole thing falls apart and, take care of yourself.
Well, but the way the economy is entwined now, maybe like gold, awesome. Something that, something hard, like precious metal, something that, doesn't fluctuate based on nonsense is always good. But leaving the country, if the major countries in the world start falling like dominoes, the rest are going to follow. All these economies are so intertwined now that no one is safe.
That is a good point. Like if the U.S. economy did crash, if our debt got so out of control that the U.S. defaulted, so many other countries would just topple with us. I mean, look what happened with just the basic. Take
all of the developed world with us if we went down, which is another reason why I don't think we'll figure something out probably in the near future, at the very least our lifetimes, before things get that bad.
I don't think so.
I don't think they'll stop until it hits the wall and shit just goes completely haywire. I think these people don't want to rein in because there was a good point made. I was listening to a recent Dave Smith podcast and he was talking to Scott Horton, but they're talking about Mises and or maybe it was Hoppe, and he has arguments about monarchy versus democracy, and the fact that these people that are elected, and it's a very good point, these people who are elected have a very short-term goal. And then, if you're a monarch, you're like, all right, well, I want my country to be around. I want to see it succeed and grow. I want to see it gain more power. Meanwhile, the people in office now, look at this spending bill. They both keep spending. The Republicans at least are supposed to rein it in, but they both keep spending because they don't give a shit. They just want concessions for their people so they get reelected for the 8 to 12 years they're going to be in office. And then they're gone. They don't give a shit. They made their money. They're out. And after they're gone, they don't give a fuck anymore.
Dude, I think we're past the point. No, there is no political solution. It's going to keep going like this till the wheels fall off. And it's going to be like the Soviet Union. It's going to fall apart. And we'll probably split up into a couple of different countries. And it's like, Texas, we're not the United States anymore. We don't know that debt. We're not paying that to anybody. And it's just it'll be like what happens.
Then the world economy will crash.
Yeah, for a while.
Yeah, for a while, by that point, crypto is leading the way.
And there'll still be rich people somewhere that hopefully will pay me to do something.
Yep, pool boy Howie.
Yep, giving massages after. I got weekends, so I got to strengthen them up. I get tired after
But the question is, it's funny you said that there still would be rich people somewhere, but when we think about the most wealthy people, Like, how much of their wealth is really tied down to something that wouldn't evaporate if the world economy crashed?
Yeah, it's like real estate or hard goods. So it's usually, well, a lot of people are just rich on stocks and bonds too. So that would crash. But the people that are richest in real estate or hard money or products, those people would be fine, and they would in fact lord over the rest of us.
I mean, maybe
Brian,
countries like Russia, maybe the ruble will be the thing we wish we had, because they're like so disentangled from us because we've been, enemies for, bullshit reasons.
Yeah.
But
Well, what do
Brian,
you want to say, JB?
What gives real estate its value?
Well, look, but you're saying that real estate's tied to the dollar, but either way, if you own land, you still have that land. Now, the question is, if the world economy crashes anyway, it might be anarchy, and how are you going to protect your borders? You'd have to find another way to do that. But that brings in kind of the old way of the way that kingdoms and the way that these people ran their duchies, is that you would say, okay, I've got this land. You protect this land for me. I will give you this much land from here. This is your land. Now protect it. So that's, if everything went to shit, that's what would happen, because that land is still valuable.
We'd revert to feudalism.
You
is
would
what
literally.
you're saying.
I think
yes. we might have a free market.
That's what Brian
anarcho-capitalist.
Well, that is a free market.
Anarcho-capitalist system.
But that is a free market.
We will have the government out of the way, and people can do what they want to do, and industrious, smart people will build things up quickly and make things probably better than they are now.
Well, I agree with you, but I still think, I'm not saying feudalism is like, they're not serfs that are farming the land and giving money to the master. It's more that it's an exchange of goods, like anything, a voluntary exchange. You would exchange a piece of your land, a parcel of your land, and the cost of that parcel is that somebody has to protect it. Like, for example, you sell all the land on the borders, and you say, all right, now you have to protect this. I will give this to you, but you now function as the protector of this land that you now own. So you have a self-interest in protecting that land anyway, and you're protecting the owner of the mass land by building a border around it.
That sounds like a fiefdom.
Well, look, man, it's voluntary, is it not?
What I'm saying.
I don't think that's
voluntary.
I do not think that's what's going to happen.
Hey, we're just spitballing here, man. This is LALDL.
Just because the U.S. government collapses and the U.S. dollar loses most of its value doesn't mean we're going to be living in the Middle Ages.
Well, look, I didn't say that this is under a very specific set of circumstances. We said who's going to have the wealth and why, and I said that real estate is still going to be worth something, which it would be, and I'm explaining the way in which it could work out.
I mean, mostly people who are owed money, people who have bought our debt are going to be fucked, and that's too bad for them. But the world's going to go on. There's going to be a reset. It's like, all right, we're kind of starting from scratch. We still have, technology. We still have skills. We still have ideas. We still have.
I don't think the world's going to explode, Howie. It's just, exactly as you described. There's going to be a reset, but there's going to be some massive growing pains from.
Oh, for sure.
Well, that's also presuming that we aren't just conquered immediately. But that's the beauty of the Second Amendment, goddammit. That's the beauty of the Second Amendment.
With more guns than people in this country, we're not going to be conquered by anybody. There's nothing to worry about.
Why is nobody bringing that point? I'm starting to get drunk now. Can you tell? Why is nobody bringing up that back, by the way, that, if shit ever did go wrong, like if we ever had there's that threat of a massive solar flare that takes out all the electricity or that the financial system crashes, we are, even without a government, the United States will still probably never be conquered. Because everybody's got guns. You're not coming over here. You don't want a piece of this.
We'd probably be safer without a government because we wouldn't have U.S. folks all over the country killing people, making them want to come here and kill us.
Damn well right, man. So, Howie, JB answered he's not worried about the debt. Let's circle back around the long way. Howie, are you worried about the debt?
I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know if I'd say I'm worried, but I think this whole thing's going to fall apart eventually. It's amazing to me. I'm impressed how good they are kicking the can down the road, but this is not sustainable and it's just getting worse and worse. But I know it's going to lead to a default. That's why, unlike Jason Stapleton, I'm not worried about passing this debt on to our children and grandchildren, because I don't think this thing's going to last that long. I don't think anybody's going to be paying this debt back. I think the people that lent money to this corrupt government that overspends ridiculously they're not getting paid back. They should not have. It's just like bankruptcy. You really shouldn't have lent credit to this credit-worthy person.
No, exactly.
Bad investment on your part.
By the way, just because you brought up Stapleton and the concept of debt, because I listened to that show and I agree with Jason a lot of the time, but this is one issue I didn't agree with him on, and it was he was saying that he didn't support the tax cuts because the spending was still going up. And my position is tax cuts are good. People keeping their own money is good. The government's going to do what the government's going to do and increase spending no matter what. So whatever the fuck's going to happen. But his point was that we're hurting the children of the next generation. But my counterpoint to that, and let me know what your feelings are on this, is that, look, not everybody has kids. So I don't think it's fair to say, well, we're passing this along to the next generation, so fuck tax cuts, when so many people like myself don't have kids, like you guys don't have children. So why should we be unnecessarily burdened to say, well, you have got to pay off this specific debt that keeps going up and going up and going up, when I would rather have the tax cuts as a person that doesn't have children to worry about down the road.
Yeah, I'm not having kids either. And besides that, they're never ever going to get the spending under control. They're never going to cut the debt. There's nothing can happen. And knowing that, do I think I should just give them more and more tax money? No, fuck that. I don't owe them anything. And if you're so concerned about your children, your grandchildren owing this money, leave the U.S. There's a lot of great places in the world. Like we're not
great places.
What's that?
Debt-free great places.
I go to Singapore.
Mark and I were just talking about somebody. Is it Liechtenstein that has a king, but he's a super libertarian king?
Prince. I think they're a principality.
Oh, they
maybe
principality?
that's Luxembourg. I never get those
No,
places.
well, Luxembourg's a duchy, the Grand Duchy.
That's right. Grand Duchy.
But I don't think it's that place.
Yeah,
go to Switzerland.
Yeah.
Go to Malta.
You know, speaking of that, do you know when the last time the U.S. has been debt-free?
I'm going to say
Jackson?
Probably right after.
Didn't Andrew Jackson pay off the debt?
Right around there, 1835.
Wow.
So yeah, we've been passing this off to our children for a very long time now.
Right. It's just getting to absurd levels, though. It's just growing exponentially. Like it was 6 months ago, we finally hit $20 trillion of debt. And then 6 months later, 21 trillion. It's like, wow, $1 trillion in 6 months.
Yeah, the interest has gotten out of control to the point where I'll give you my answer on the debt. I do worry about it. I will vote anyone into office who will pledge to address the issue. But in my personal life, I am not worried about it, because I do agree that I agree with both of you. Number one, I don't think it's ever actually going to get reined in. There's too many interests involved to keep it kicking it down the road and increase spending. And also with the military in place, we're still in the position for now where even if the monetary system did crash, we'd be like, well, guess what? We got all the guns and all the bombs and all the ships. So fuck you. You know, that's, I guarantee what would happen. But
dude, our crypto portfolios will finally be worth something then too.
Oh, I can't wait. Come on, baby. Let's crash this bastard. But, overall, again, I can't worry about it. It's whatever. You can't do anything about it except vote. And that's why, libertarians don't like to vote, but I'm sorry, you got to vote. You got to vote.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying as long as you have a skill that somebody's going to be willing to pay for in whatever the currency is and whatever country you happen to be in is, that's what you need to worry about. Make yourself marketable. So no matter what happens, you're valuable and you can make other people's lives better and get paid for it.
All right, ready? Hold on. Howie, world ended. What's your skill you're marketing? Go.
I'm fucked, man.
Dead.
I don't
You're
know.
dead. JB, what's your skill?
I'm a trained chemist and can make explosives.
Or meth.
Or meth. I can pretty much make whatever you want. I'm a trained chemist.
I don't know what the collapse is like. Do they still need cybersecurity at this point in time?
No, we don't need cybersecurity anymore. You gotta do something else.
All right. Well, I used to be a soldier. I guess I'll be a soldier.
There you go. All right. Good, Howie. I'll give you a piece of my property to protect.
All right.
and I'll supply you all with meth.
Prostitute.
Oh, you're going to be a prostitute?
Yeah, it's got a callback in the biz. All right. On that note, let's take a quick break, hear a word from our sponsor, and we'll be right back with more Electric Libertyland, Libertarians in Living Rooms Drinking Liquor.
My name is Dale Kearns, and I'm running for United States Senate in Pennsylvania as a Libertarian. I'm a concerned citizen who has had enough. I work as a project manager for an electrical contractor in southeastern Pennsylvania. There I manage large commercial and industrial projects. I'm a husband and a father of 2 energetic little girls. I'm running to advocate for a society where my girls have more liberty, not less. Will you support our campaign? Unlike my competitors, I'm not a career politician. I don't have millionaire and billionaire donors. I'm running for Senate in Pennsylvania because I want to take the message to Washington that we want government out of our lives. Will you let me be your voice? Let me be the voice that says we will not walk quietly down the road to serfdom. The voice that says we need free market solutions. The voice that says we need to end the failed war on drugs. The voice who will fight for the forgotten man, non-violent offenders wasting away in prison, and addicts who are afraid to speak up and seek the help they need. We are seeking members for our campaign team. I encourage you to apply. We need donations to help us spread the message of liberty across the state. We can go on hoping for liberty to happen, or we can fight together. I hope you choose the latter and join me today. Find out more at dalekearns.com.
Paid for by Dale Kearns for office.
All right, we are back with Electric Libertyland's very, very special Libertarians in Living Rooms Drinking Liquor show. I am Brian McWilliams. As always, I'm here with the Godfather of Liberty, Howie Snowdon. Howie, did you get more beer?
Oh, yeah. I'm good now.
Excellent. And, of course, the beautiful, the bold, and the black JB Lubin.
Yes, I am all those three things.
That's why we call you Triple B. Well, Quadruple B if we're including the Bernard. Anywho, we're back in. So here's what I want to talk about now. We're going to continue with some questions from the Pride. Here is a question I think we can have a little fun with. So from Marty, now that the Trump administration is all neocon all the time, is this good or bad? So and he goes on to ask, and I'm paraphrasing this, but will they be ousted quicker and exposed, or will this bring people to that side a little bit more? Like, how do you think the base of Trump that put him in office is going to react? What is this? What are you feeling, JB? Give me your answer first, then I'll go to Howie.
Well, I would first say, when is neocon ever good? That's what I would say at first. And I really don't think this would have any influence on his base, because it's really a cult of personality of Trump. Yeah. As long as they like Trump as a person and his absurdities, he can practically do whatever he wants and they won't care. It's very much a cult of personality. It has nothing to do with policy.
All right, Howie?
It's bad. And I mean, right now, Trump's base loves him, but the media and everybody's against him. They're not going to get ousted faster, because the only time the media loves him is when he does neocon things like bomb Syria.
Yeah.
If anything, it's going to make the opposition less. I mean, right now the opposition's based on bullshit, but they're going to have real things that they should be against, but they're going to cheerlead it, because that's what they do. Both parties and the media are like pro-war, pro-destroying everything. And yeah, this isn't good. The fact that he appointed Bolton, national security advisor, is like, that's probably the worst decision I've seen made in the entire administration.
Yeah, it's horrible. And you both make very good points. JB with the cult of personality comment, because I don't know if you guys saw the latest Trump approval ratings, but they are like at an all-time high. Even though he just put in the torture queen as head of the CIA, Mike Pompeo or whatever the hell is as Secretary of State, and John Bolton as national security advisor, three horrible people, horrible neocons that are basically walking nightmares as far as we're concerned in foreign policy decisions. His base does not give a shit. And you'd think they would call him out on this shit, but they absolutely do not. They don't care. And Howie, to your point, yeah, the media can't be more against Trump than they are, but they do applaud the neocon shit. Like, when he bombed Assad over a make-believe gas attack on his own people, even on CNN was like, look, what a wonderful job he's done.
You know what it really is? It's not so much that the media is pro-war. I wouldn't necessarily say that they're pro-war.
Oh, I totally
but
think
it's deeper than that. It's like at the base, they're pro-sensationalism. And what's more sensationalist than killing people?
They're pro ratings.
Exactly. That's
true,
what it is.
I tuned in. I remember the first Iraq war.
Like, you can look at the Stormy Daniels nonsense. Honestly, who gives a shit? Who cares about this? But they won't stop talking about it because it's sensationalist. Because maybe people not like us, but newsflash, most people aren't like us, eat this shit up.
Yeah.
And war is just another piece of crap on the pile that they can just churn out and feed and cover that people will just keep consuming.
Well, that's
not so much the war. Just fit in anything that people will just consume like mindlessly. and the media will be all over it.
No, true. Well, the Republicans are all for, a lot of people on the GOP side are very pro-war in general, pro-troops, pro-war, pro-USA being the king of the world. And yeah, the media, you're right. They completely eat the shit out of it. But there are not enough people that are in the middle like us, because everybody's so politicized now. Like they're to such far extremes that there's not many people in the middle that actually would say, okay, I'm flip-flopping. Like for me, I flip-flop on whether or not I support Trump. I was more supportive of him, obviously, before this, and now I'm pretty much against him. And the people, though, on the Democratic side, it doesn't matter what he does. They're going to oppose him. The people that are his base seem clearly, it doesn't matter what he does. They're going to support him. So we're just kind of like, we're, again, libertarians. I thought this was going to be our moment. I've said this many times, but clearly it's still not our moment because people still aren't seeing rationally.
So I don't think this is what is happening at all. I don't. But the only way that him making Bolton National Security Advisor could be a good thing is if maybe Trump is some crazy genius like people think. And again, I don't think this is the case, but just, alternative theories.
Is he going to deploy him to Syria and have him killed?
What if he has no intention of listening to anything that Bolton says, but he wants, like, while he's negotiating with North Korea and these other folks to be like, oh shit, he just appointed Bolton as now security advisor. Oh, they're gonna destroy us. We better negotiate or do something.
That would be beyond genius if that were in fact the case.
If you believe in the 4D chess shit, I mean. Well, I guess of that stuff seemed plausible before this. I don't think this is happening.
I wanted to knock it, but now that you put that in my mind, you look at everything with North Korea. Trump has been nothing but fucking bluster and I'm going to bomb the shit out of your fucking asses. And North Korea is now like, yeah, we're talking. We'll denuclearize. Let's get together and chat. So, I mean, it's not the way I would have done it, but I guess it is working.
Wait, has North Korea explicitly said that they're willing to denuclearize based on the outcome of these talks?
They said they are if they can get rid of the threat of invasion by the U.S. and South Korea. They want a security assurance.
So they're saying all we have to do to get rid of North Korean nukes is just to bring our soldiers home from South Korea. Is that all we need to do?
Which is something
I find that very hard to believe.
Well, no, what I find hard to believe is that we would never do that as a thing. Even if that was absolutely true, we would not do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because not only is that a buffer for us against North Korea, but also against China. That's what, more importantly, is that our troops are there as a buffer against China.
Well, going on that and what Howie said, I know you were playing devil's advocate and you don't actually believe it.
No.
But I think you grossly overestimate how easy it is to intimidate our opponents. In terms of I don't think John Bolton intimidates the Chinese or North Koreans one bit.
No, but if you're a negotiator like Trump, it makes sense to say, okay, even though I'm not planning on doing this, I'm going to bring this guy who is notoriously on the record for saying he supports preemptive strikes against North Korea. If you want to keep up, even though we're already talking, we're already going to sit down to ramp it up and say, look, even though we're sitting down, I still have this feeling. And here, look, I brought in this guy just as a double down on this. This is what I'm leading towards. It makes sense in a crazy way. It's like bluffing in poker, man. It's like bluffing in poker. You overbet.
The guy who helped us destroy another country, Iraq. But maybe Trump's playing again. I don't think it's maybe he's playing the carrots and the sticks. Because I saw today that Dennis Rodman posted a picture of Kim Jong-un in a MAGA hat, being like, "This is what I hope happens after my two friends meet and talk."
I think we all hope that happens. To be honest, can you imagine? Oh my God, I would laugh my ass off. I would probably die laughing if Kim Jong-un was in a picture with a Make America Great hat or a Make North Korea Great Again hat. Holy shit, it would be the best thing ever.
Don't heads of state normally present each other with gifts when they meet for the first time?
Oh, what will the gifts be? Man, if it's a MAGA hat, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, but think about this. The MAGA hat would have to be so fucking huge to fit on his giant gourd. It would probably be worth more than their entire GDP. Like the amount of cloth and plastic to make that MAGA hat would be more than North Korea's GDP.
So the last thing I want to say about John Bolton, I just found this really funny. I guess he just met General Mattis recently at the Pentagon. And I guess the first thing that Mattis said to him was, it's like, so I hear you're the devil incarnate, so I wanted to meet you.
I like it.
And then the people are talking to him about it. He's like, what? He's like, I'm all for hearing differing opposing of views. He's an American. I can work with an American. Doesn't mean I agree. You know, he just wanted to. So I'm glad that at least Mattis was saying they may be opposing views or different views, which please God, don't let them fucking listen to anything that Bolton says.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Another question from the Pride. Try to get through these in the 20 minutes, half hour we have left. So let's do one from Chris, our good buddy Chris, who is over in the around the Netherlands area of the world, let's say. From Chris, is there a good way to invest in medical cannabis without also investing in recreational marijuana? Now, I don't know. You know, I guess he likes the medical people. I don't know, but I would say just to jump in here quickly, yeah, without a doubt, you can invest in companies that specifically target medical marijuana for growth or hydroponics or uses down the road. Like there's a lot of therapeutic usage for especially like CBD products within the medical community, and you can invest in those stocks. A lot of them are penny stocks right now, but I learned this from working with a biopharma consulting agency for a little while. So that's one take on it, is that, yes, find the companies that are purely focused on medical applications. JB, Howie, do you have any insight on this question?
Yeah, I mean, kind of the same thing. I mean, help yourself and help the cause. Like, there's plenty of companies you can invest in. I believe one that I used to have stock in was GW Pharmaceuticals. I believe it's a British company that provides a lot of our medical marijuana here because it's so hard to be able to grow it in the United States. So even when it's legal, we got to get it from Britain a lot of times. But yeah, I mean, just buy stock in one of those companies and hopefully, you know, it helps them fight their fight, have funding to do what they need to do, and maybe make you a few bucks too. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of companies like focus on epilepsy applications for marijuana that you can find. JB, any take on this?
Yeah. If I guess gauging from the question, I guess you have an issue of the use of cannabis for, you know, intoxicating effects as opposed to its well-documented therapeutic uses. You like you mentioned, Brian, look at CBD companies, you know, cannabidiols, like CBDs that are used in extracts and tinctures. They're not actually the psychoactive portion of the chemical cocktail that is in marijuana. So if there are companies focusing on making those products, then you would, I guess, feel ethically sound in investing in those and not worry about promoting the recreational aspect of it.
Yeah,
even if you. It is more effective, though, overall, when it's combined with the THC. When the whole plant is used, there's better results than when they just isolate certain parts of it.
Well, of course, Howie, but,
just,
you know.
Just FYI, folks. And also, this is a Libertarian podcast, God damn it. There's nothing wrong with the recreational use of marijuana. So I don't know what this question is about. It's kind of crazy.
I can understand.
But the main principle of Libertarians is live and let be. If he has a problem with it, I'm not going to tell him he can't. You know,
exactly, man. I mean, shit. That's fine. Do what you want to do. It's your money.
That's why I brought up
exactly.
That's why I brought up GW Pharmaceuticals. Next question.
Here's a good one. All right, this is from Austin. Do you believe that nullification is the best way for us to get more firearms freedom? If not, then what do you see as being the best route? Howie, go ahead. What do you think?
I think it's a great option. I believe he's speaking of states nullifying federal laws, right?
Yeah, states nullifying federal laws, exactly.
I also, because a lot of our states are very cowardly and are not going to do that, just on the individual level, everyone, don't comply. Don't do it. No one do it. If you're on a jury, use jury nullification. Don't put anyone in jail for it. And pressure, yes, like we said, the states, pressure your states to like invalidate these federal laws. They're bullshit. They're against your natural God-given right to defend yourself however you see fit. But yeah, state nullification is one of our best tools, but also just on an individual level, do not comply.
Yeah. JB?
When I saw this, I was just like, it reminded me of something I was really thinking about recently. It's like, this concept of nullification and this actual right that we have is one of the most important and underutilized in our society right now. And before you can even get to nullifying any type of federal legislation against firearms, we need to promote this idea and the fact that you can do it. You mentioned jury nullification.
Oh, yeah.
What percentage of the American population even knows that you can do jury nullification?
And also, somebody got arrested for like telling people about jury nullification outside of a courthouse. It's like they're actively trying to stop this information from getting out.
What we need to start first is just to make people aware that this is possible. This is a right that we have and we should be using so that people can get this in the idea. Just like every other ideal and freedom that we have, we need to hammer this home that this is something that we can do. This is a right we possess and one that is very important. And then everything will follow down in the wayside. But first, we have to make people aware of the fact that they can actually do this.
Well, you know what's funny is look at California, right? California is basically nullifying federal mandate on immigration and enforcement of immigration by the sanctuary cities where they're banning people from working with ICE and working with federal agencies in regards to immigration and kicking people out. So they are exercising that right. But people don't realize that this is something, to your point, that you could do with anything. Anything. That's your right. That's the state's right. And yeah, I agree that nullification is great. My only worry, though, is that we're seeing it. I can't remember what state it was in, but we saw people go to fucking prison because one of the states out there said, oh, we are not going to abide by this federal law. And then feds came in, arrested some people. The sheriffs allowed it to happen, which they should not have, because the local law enforcement that worked for the state should have protected them from the federal government if they were trying to enforce a law that the state has said is null and void. But they got arrested. I think it was for dealing silencers, specifically, in this case. They arrested these fucking people.
And then, it was something like that.
Yeah, and the governor didn't do shit. He fucking rolled over like a bitch and let it happen. And then, because the feds were threatening to withhold funding. So these people were told that it was nullified and the state would protect them. And guess what happened? They got turned over to the feds. They got bitched out, and now they're in jail. So that's my worry with nullification.
I don't remember.
It is a dangerous game.
I don't remember the details of that, but if anybody's interested, Chris Ann Hall had an excellent podcast, actually a few covering this exact case. But yeah, that can happen. But, like I was saying with just not complying, I know they banned certain types of firearms in New York and they told people they had to turn them in. And I think the statistics are they think about 5% of the people actually did it. And the cops are like, we can't really go after these 95% of people that didn't. We just don't have the resources. We can't do it. And it's, that in that state, there was one case, a couple people did get in trouble. But in New York State, when you had 95% of the people that this new law would have affected not complying with it, they can't do anything.
No, I agree. So, and I think people should unanimously do that. Without a doubt, especially when it comes to the Second Amendment, just be like, fuck off. And I've said this before, there's no way they're going to come and grab your guns. There's no possible way. And this is like a follow-up question from Austin is how much time should we spend fighting the culture war, against the gun grabbers versus just finding solutions like nullification or just saying, like Howie's saying, well, fuck off. Too bad. I have this gun. I'm not giving it back to you. Tough titties. The only problem is now they're going to try to ban other people from buying them. But in regards to his question, I don't even know. I've almost given up on the culture war as far as winning people over to guns, because if you haven't experienced violence, if you don't understand why we need a gun in the historical context, in the self-defense context, you're probably never going to get it. And all these rich fucking elites that are never going to have to use a gun in all likelihood in their lives because they're living in primo places where violence is at a minimum, they're never going to come to our standpoint. It doesn't matter how many stats you throw at them. Doesn't matter how many talks you have with them. How many times you gunsplain it to them. They're never going to fucking budge. So I'm always to the point where I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, I agree. If someone's already anti-gun, this is such an emotionally charged issue right now. There's no bringing them over. I'm just, I would never vote for a gun grabber. I'll never voluntarily disarm. And, if I do meet someone who's maybe they haven't thought about it, maybe they seem like a reasonable person, I'll explain to them. I'll talk to them. I'll, try to convert them. And I'll, especially the people that are already on our side, give them support, reinforce the ideas so they don't give in too. I mean, sometimes it's important, like as Tom Wood says, sometimes it's important to preach to the choir. The pastor doesn't say, all right, you guys know this, go outside. You don't need to hear my homily or whatever. it's important to reinforce this message. So those of us who are on, the right side of this stand strong and don't ever bend to these emotional pleas and these ridiculous arguments that aren't based on logic or facts.
Because I always wonder who the fuck are these people where the cops are like, we're having a gun turn in, unless you are a criminal that has a stolen firearm and you're like, well, this is a good way I can get rid of this murder weapon. I'll wipe my prints off it and turn it into the police. Why would you be like, oh, yeah, take my gun. Here you go. Have fun with it.
Oh, this is why I will tell you why. Because you have an old shitty gun and you want some money to get a new nice gun.
No, that's
I will say to you guys.
That's seriously what happens a lot.
I'll say to you guys, don't give up. If you could remember many, many moons ago, I was a staunch anti-gun.
I remember having an argument with you about it 2 years ago.
I wouldn't say advocate because I was so apathetic. I wouldn't say I was advocating anything. But if you were to ask me, I was very much like, get rid of those fuckers.
Yeah.
And at this point, I wouldn't exactly call myself a huge fan of guns, but I respect and will defend the right of any of my citizens to own firearms because it's not a matter, because it came to the point where I understood gun rights as a matter of personal liberty.
Mm-hmm.
It's a matter of liberty. And don't give up on people. Don't give up on people that have this emotional appeal, because I had the same emotional appeal, and it's the exact opposite from what you were describing, McWilliams. It comes from growing up from a relatively disadvantaged background. When I was younger and I was living in Brooklyn, before like my family got this fancy job and we moved to Long Island.
Before we only ate croissants.
Yeah, all I associated guns with was violence, not protection. So in my most formative years, I developed a very negative perception of what a gun is and what it does. I associated it with nothing but violence. And these people are not rich. These people are not sheltered, like I would say. These are people who are being woken up at night from fucking random people shooting at each other in the streets in fucking Flatbush, Brooklyn. So it's like you need to know your audience and know which way they're coming from and what their experiences are and work with that. And as long as Howie mentioned, they are reasonable people, right-minded people, and believe in personal liberty and freedoms, they can come around when you present it in a specific way.
Yes, I think I more meant...
Made me cry, JB. That was good speech. I liked it.
I more meant like, don't waste your time arguing with the David Hoggs, is that his name? On Facebook or on Twitter. Like there's some people it's not worth your breath. Do something else with your life besides getting in Facebook arguments with people who you're not going to change their mind.
I do agree. Facebook arguments are worthless. There's no point.
Speaking of which, I think we should fucking delete our Facebooks. Everybody move to the Discord, Lions Liberty Discord channel.
You know what? If we could get people to do that, okay. I am all for promoting it. Well, right now our Discord's only for Pride members. So that's a closed circuit, but
it's for anybody who has the link.
That's
actually
true. No, that's true.
Did I only share it in the Pride?
We could. Yeah. I think you only shared it in the Pride. We could create another one that was just called #Lions of Liberty that could be open to everybody. Maybe we should do that.
I think I shared it in the open forum, man. Whatever. Everybody should go there. Facebook is the only reason I go to Facebook is for the Lions of Liberty forum and for the Think Crypto one. But you know what? If I could not have to go to Facebook, I would do it, because fuck Mark Zuckerberg.
Yep. Fuck him right in his ass.
In the neck, as Roger Paxson would say.
Another Paxsonism. All right, so here we go. One more question. With his recent appointments, is Trump worse than Hillary would have been? That's from Ben. I'll say Howie, go.
No.
All right, well, that was quick.
No.
GB, no.
No. Hey, Mattis heard that Bolton was the devil incarnate. No, Hillary Clinton is the devil incarnate. Everything would be worse than Hillary Clinton. Sure, Trump's doing a lot of the same shit she would do, but he's doing a lot of things that she wouldn't do. And one of the best things is him tearing down this bullshit media we've had that everyone just listens to for years. I don't know what the newest polls are, but like a lot of people don't trust the media anymore. And that's a wonderful freaking thing.
Yeah, the overall consensus, like I think 65% of Americans, both Democrat and Republican, don't trust media right now.
And
which
just
is great.
finally fighting back against political correctness. Like it's hardly even a thing.
Because it is
anymore.
true. The media would have. Can you imagine a
laughable.
fucking Clinton presidency? They would have just rubber stamped any fucking thing she ever wanted to do. There would be no pushback. Well, Fox News, I guess, but there'd be nothing. Everybody would just be like, "Oh, what brave leader!" She'd get another Nobel Peace Prize, just like Obama did. Do you think that Peace Prize, by the way? Do you think the Peace Prize tries to strangle him in his sleep? Like,
I hope so.
JB, what about you?
Actually, can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
Just because we brought up Obama, something I saw that made me laugh really hard recently was, I guess there's this dude that claimed that when Obama was in college, he had sex with him.
Yeah.
And he is so mad that Stormy Daniels is getting all this attention now, but nobody listened to him or heard his story.
I agree with them. It's the same thing.
It just cracks me up because just reading some of the comments on it too is like, yep, it's like nobody is accusing Barack Obama of sleeping with any women.
JB, what about you? What are your thoughts? Trump worse than Hillary or no?
It's hard for me to say. It's like, it requires me to have knowledge of an alternate reality. But, it's like you said, there are some things that Trump has done that you don't like, but then there are some things that Trump has done that Hillary would never have done. For me, it's hard to say.
Hillary
I need
have given the tax cuts. I
actually need more time. The tax cuts, great. I'm really very much on Stapleton with this. Reduce in spending with the tax cut, this would have been an easy question for me. I would have been like 100% Trump. But without that reduce the spending, it's kind of like half baked, I
don't know. I almost hope they spend more just so it falls apart faster.
Me, no. Because
let's have a $50 trillion budget.
That's true. At this point, is it almost like, when you're at that point of drunk, when you're just like, fuck, man, I'm hammered. I'm going to feel like shit tomorrow. I might as well just go double hard and see if I feel better by drinking through this, and then I'll just be drunk all day tomorrow. Maybe that's what we're doing with the budget.
Pass a lot tomorrow. Give us all Lambos, and then we'll deal with it later.
Howie, I don't have the confidence that you do that I would survive fucking society collapsing. So I very much pray that it doesn't happen.
You got explosives, dude. Just throw fucking bombs at people until they leave you alone. You'll be fine.
JB's got bombs.
Well, yeah, he's a chemist. That's his job. When world falls apart, he's gonna be throwing bombs, and I'll be in the back sucking his dick for money. So is
that going in the pod?
It's all goes in the pod, baby. I'm the prostitute. Howie's the soldier. You're the bomb maker / meth maker.
And Skype now has their reason to ban us.
Yes. There it is. JB's he's not being sex trafficked. I'm not being sex trafficked. I voluntarily do it.
Our compound is built on voluntarism, okay?
Exactly.
Are we going to have a compound like in Waco?
We're going to have to at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Waco and Baco.
Who's going to be is Mark our David Koresh?
He's got the hair for it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my take on this is I still think Hillary would have been worse. I still think she would have. There's zero chance she would have cut taxes. There's zero chance she would have cut spending. In fact, it probably would have been even worse. She'd probably be stumping for full universal health care, which would be a nightmare. She would definitely be pushing us into more foreign conflicts because she's a huge neocon war hawk. And like I said in my last podcast, John Bolton is Hillary Clinton with a bigger mustache. So Trump just after a year just put John Bolton in this position as overseeing his foreign affairs or foreign policy advisor. Hillary Clinton would have been John Bolton in there the whole fucking time. So that's the way I look at it.
Brian, I have a kind of minor point of contention of one of your points that you made. I don't think Hillary Clinton is as big of a war hawk as you think. I think a lot of that is posturing to make herself seem stronger because she's a woman.
No, dude. Come on. You look at
I don't know if that's sexist or not, because I don't think she is as big of a war hawk as she presents herself to be.
It might just be posturing, but at the same time, look at when she was Secretary of State. Look at her record. She pushed to overthrow and kill freaking
Gaddafi. And now they're
Gaddafi
selling slaves in Libya.
Yeah,
but that's status quo, though. That's not above and beyond. that's like insert Secretary of State.
Yeah, but she also, is responsible in Benghazi. She also is pushing for every single conflict that Obama wanted to pull back from. She was like, no, full bore, move ahead. She wants to attack. That's her. She's like like a rabid
Secretary
pit
of
bull.
Defense was against these things, and she was pushing it, and
Exactly.
he did it because of him.
Yeah, and we know that from the
how
records
about all
that
the
were
just
released.
I'm not saying she's not. I said
how about
I think,
all the
so
regular?
I just wanted to open up the discourse here. You know.
How about all the regular?
Well, you opened up a can of whoop ass.
What about all the regular civilians she had murdered? How about that? Huh?
We do need
never been proven.
We
And
have to do a conspiracy corner.
That's
on
really
our
not
side.
how the feds
Did you
descend
guys
on us,
see
right?
the article I sent out today about Trump just said we're going to pull our troops out of Syria and we're going to be leaving Syria soon? He said we'll let other people deal with that.
Hey, you can't talk about that because this is going to be airing 10 days after this conversation.
Well,
I'm going to talk about that, Howie, on Electric Libertyland that'll air before this.
Oh, God damn it.
Sorry, dude. It's time travel shit, man.
Howie,
your
it's
kids,
not like
there's something wrong with them.
I hate time travel. God damn it.
I love it. Here's a question. All right, ready? This has nothing to do with anything. This is just drunk talk now.
All right.
If time travel was possible, even though we're libertarians, we believe in personal freedom, we believe in anarchy, or at least very minarchist government, should there be, like Jean-Claude Van Damme, time cops to stop people from fucking with the time continuum?
No.
Well, that depends. Is it people using time travel technology to fuck up with time? Then I think
What
there
else
should
would
be
you
someone
use it
to
for?
stop them from doing that.
I mean,
right?
they're not
because
just
that's just
using
regular law enforcement,
Well,
right?
look, greed. I've said before, greed is good, and I believe that wholeheartedly. But if you can time travel, you are 100% going to go back and like Biff from fucking Back to the Future 2, give yourself the almanac and make sure that you win lots of money. You're going to like go back and people was like, I'd kill Hitler. Like, you don't know what would happen if you killed Hitler. Maybe Goebbels takes over and actually succeeds. Like, fucking, it would be the worst.
Yeah, that's true, because Hitler was kind of a moron. Most of his subordinates were way smarter than him.
Yeah, he was a failed artist. Goebbels is like a trained military killer.
Yeah.
I'd much rather have Hitler.
Holy fuck. That guy was Let's not get into this right now.
No, agreed. I don't want to be stumping for Hitler on a podcast. But like that's the point though, is like you can't say you would go back and do something with time travel because you don't know the consequences of that. So even though I am anti-state, I think there would have to be, maybe this is the only situation where like if you were the time travel company, like we're talking about Ford, you can't stop people from using your van to kidnap people. Maybe the time travel company has to be responsible. Like
Brian, everybody gets one deviance from libertarianism. If this is going to be yours, you don't get any more. You have to be 100% and everything else, and we'll let this time travel cop business
just don't
slide.
want the world to end.
Well,
That's your
okay,
mulligan,
okay. That'll be your one thing we let slide.
All right,
Mine will be
fine. I'm a statist.
Mine
JB?
is I would be okay with having some kind of asteroid defense now paid for by the government. That's my mulligan.
I see. I think that's better handled by private contractors.
Yeah, but I was just saying, instead of all these wars, I would rather they be figuring out a way to prevent the world from ending from a huge asteroid strike.
Oh, well,
That's
instead
what
of
I'm
all
saying.
these wars, I wish they built castles made of cocaine I could live in. If we're talking in fantasy fucking My Little Pony land.
Oh, wait. If I have to choose between that or the asteroid thing, I'll go with that.
JB, are you on my side or not? Which side are you on? Where do you fall?
I'm on your side.
Thank you.
Definitely. Like the variables, like this is why I don't like time travel in movies and TV, because it always leads to nonsense and paradoxes. There's so many things that can
like
go
Looper,
wrong if
the
you go
movie
back
Looper,
in time.
So many
Brian,
paradoxes. Didn't make any sense.
Brian, even if somebody goes back and does something, we already got to experience this one time. Why do we have to have it for eternity? Come on, don't be selfish.
All right, JB, continue what you were saying.
Like what Howard was talking about, now you're talking about an alternate timeline where like we don't even exist. We're not even having this conversation anymore. All of it's a mind fuck. Let's not worry about it.
We would
Let's
be
not
the
think
squirrels
about it.
in an alternate universe. We're the squirrels of socialism.
Well, maybe this reality goes on, but there's an alternate reality where things are different. It just
Yeah,
kinda
exactly. It splits. Yeah, it splits into like
that's probably more likely. So don't spend the money on the time cops. It's a waste of money. Don't do it.
guess that's possible if we believe in that infinite timeline theory.
Just because you don't have any skills, you want to be a time cop, so you're pushing your agenda.
Dude, my skills work in any scenario. My skills work, unless there's some sort of weird mutation where people don't have dicks and assholes anymore. My skill is like the skill.
That's true. All right, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
I'm skill number 1.
But so are you afraid someone goes back in time and changes things so people don't have dicks and assholes anymore?
I'm a little worried now. Yeah, if the spending doesn't get it reined in.
You're going to have to really go back in time for that.
They're going to rein in the spending, or they're going to go runaway spending, and then someone's going to be like, they're going to hear this podcast, invent time travel, and be like, you know what? That fucking guy, McWilliams, fuck that guy. And it's going to go up and tape everyone's asshole together just to fuck me in the future where it falls apart.
Then maybe it happened. These are the gray aliens without the dicks and assholes that we see. It's like us and the other from the past, future, something, whatever. I don't know.
Could you imagine if that's just time tourism and that's actually us?
Oh my God. Coming back and probing ourselves? Like some
because they don't have assholes anymore. They want to be like, what was that like? We got to check it out.
That's probably a good place to end this. All right. Any final thoughts, gentlemen, on any of these topics? Any statements you want to make about the grand unification of the universe?
I would like to very much keep my dick and asshole. And I think I'll close it on that.
Well, don't get married, JB. Ba-dum-bum. Thank you. Be here all day. Howie, what about your dick and asshole?
They're good right now, but so everyone, I got a mission for you. Right now I'm drinking Carlsberg. I thought I was buying something different.
It's called Chang, you fucking idiot.
It's not called Chang. It's not called Chang. I wouldn't buy a beer that sounds Chinese like that.
Delirium Tremens?
There's a beer. No, it's not that. There's a beer with an elephant on it. Maybe there's a Carlsberg version with an elephant, but there's something with an elephant on it that's not Chang, and it's good. If someone can figure that out and let me know, I'd be ever grateful.
Are you sure it's not Delirium Tremens? Because there's an elephant balancing on a ball on the bottom.
You know what? Carlsberg actually does have a beer called Carlsberg Elephant.
Oh yeah?
That's what I meant to buy then. Damn it. But no, it wasn't Delirium Tremens. We have a Delirium Tremens bar up the street from us.
I'm looking at it right now in front of me. Carlsberg Elephant. It's a back beer. And it's got a lot more malt in it, I guess, than what you're drinking.
That one's good. Get that one if you can. Don't get the green.
Yeah, because the one I had in Ireland was fucking terrible. God, it was terrible. But I like Chang. I think Chang's good. I also love Tsingtao. Delicious beer.
Oh, hey, why are you going to Japan anyways?
Oh, honeymoon. Late honeymoon.
Oh, nice.
I know, real late. But it's going to be awesome, man. I'm going to try to do a little, I'll see if I can post some Pride content while I'm there. Just some kind of live feed into the Podbean app and upload it. But yeah, we're going to Tokyo, we're going to Kyoto, and going to Mount Fiji for a night. But we're flying on China Air, and I plan on drinking a shit ton of free Tsingtaos. And we're flying business class.
Just don't get into that tentacle shit.
That's the only reason I'm going. I've been married a year and a half now. I got to get into the kinky shit, man.
You got to spice it up.
Having a tentacle installed in my wife, right in her stomach. But hey, by the way, if anybody hearing this podcast, I have a company that is incredible. We're flying round trip to Japan, business class on China Air, which has a lounge, full lie down pods. Our tickets. Guess how much our round trip business class tickets to Japan cost us each?
$2,000.
Just tell us.
You were close, JB. $2,500 each.
Oh,
and
that's actually not bad for Japan.
Oh, dude, no, for business class, for American Air, I was looking at American Delta, $10,000 round trip for business class.
Holy crap! I was just gonna say, from the East Coast, getting to Japan will probably cost me that much for coach.
Yeah, exactly. This company is incredible. So I'm not going to give them a free plug, but if anybody's really. If you're going to fly, you guys are getting married, you're looking at eloping somewhere, let me know and I'll hook you up.
Yeah, you help me out with Ireland. Andrew doesn't want to fly coach.
Well, this place will hook you up, dude. It'll be fucking rad.
All right. We'll talk off.
There you go. Mystery. What a way to end the show with a mystery plug for a company. All right. Well, hey, gentlemen, thank you. The Godfather of Liberty, Howie Snowdon. Always wonderful to have you. JB, my man, back in Philly. please do what you can. If you see Joel Embiid walking down the street, fix his fucking orbital bone in time for the playoffs. And
I'll try.
Yeah, do what you can. Like, pack some ice on it. And so, guys, just to remind you all, you can support this podcast. You heard me talk about the Pride a lot because we're taking questions on this show. But you can join the Pride for as cheap as $5. Tons of content. Wonderful conspiracy corners like we're talking about. We need to do a conspiracy corner on Arkansas. We have to do that. We have to talk about the number of people the Clintons have killed. But conspiracy corners, degenerate gambles, all sorts of fun shows that are additional to our normal podcast. If you want to support us in general, just follow us on Facebook, share the podcast, all that good stuff. At Lions of Liberty on Twitter. Give us a review on iTunes. That would be great. All that wonderful stuff. All that wonderful stuff. All right. So from Lions of Liberty, from me, from Howie, from JB, from Electric Libertyland, guys, always stay plugged in to Liberty.